Analysing the government's reaction to flood events, no doubt. But on Tuesday, senior Labour figures will discuss an internal report into the party's general election defeat. Some, including the Barnsley MP Dan Jarvis, are calling for that report to be made public. Now, Labour strategists may want to look closely at this article, which was published in the Fabian Review. It warns the party faces losing many of its natural supporters in Yorkshire to UKIP on a scale that could perhaps mirror Labour's losses to the SNP in Scotland. Liz Roberts reports.
Hexthorpe in central Doncaster, a Labour constituency since its creation. Some may say the party's position here is safe as houses. But the homes here have been getting new occupants, and now in this cafe there's a burning issue.
Well, I think it's very important, not just to me, but to everybody, that they need to do something about this immigration laws and that. And, you know, control it more. They don't know who's coming in, who's not. There's just far too many.
An influx of migrants to this part of Doncaster has been causing tensions. There have been demonstrations and counter-demonstrations. And it's this issue, living with the consequences of us having open borders across Europe, that people say Labour aren't listening to.
Jane Maria Collins.
It's seen some voters turn to this party.
11,414 votes.
It may not be the victory they were looking for, but UKIP came second to Labour in more than 2/3 of South Yorkshire's constituencies in the general election. Ed Miliband's Doncaster North constituency is dotted with former mining communities like this one here in Adwick. And while the former Labour leader may have comfortably held on to his seat, the UKIP share of the vote went up by nearly 20%, a figure other political parties would dream of.
When all the Labour bigwigs were around the table, the MPs, I've seen happier-looking bloodhounds.
And no one sums up their growing support more than these brothers. Former Labour voters, one now a UKIP councillor, the other his election agent and lifelong union member.
I was a supporter of John Smith. I mean, when John Smith died, I believe the Labour Party died, in my opinion. They've lost the trust of your common and garden person, the working man like we are. The Labour Party, when it had sense and when it had decent politicians who knew what they were talking about, was against the EU because they said it would cause wage compression and unskilled people coming to this country and causing problems, and it has done.
Immigration, no problem with it at all.
No problems at all.
They should have the skills, they should bring the skills the country needs.
Control the immigration.
Another general election may be a long way off, but round the corner is a referendum on Europe, and that's a worry.
We can't afford at a national, regional and local level to be complacent. They still are organising, they still have a degree of popular support. The EU referendum will give them the biggest platform that they've ever had. So I think it is very important that we take the threat seriously, that we think long and hard about the reasons why people, in some cases, and in some of our traditional heartlands, are favourable to UKIP.
In fact, writing in the Fabian Society, one Yorkshireman, now a Labour councillor based in London, says his party should learn lessons from Scotland.
You had the referendum and you had the Labour Party siding with all the other parties apart from one. And suddenly, despite winning the referendum, they lost the post-referendum period. And I think you could see that quite easily happening in parts of Yorkshire around the EU referendum.
Labour has already lost these 2 votes. The party will now be hoping its in campaign won't see it out of the running in future elections.